Welcome you all to Iced Coffee Time with Madison Christine MC. So, I want to smash a fucking myth in this video, okay? And this is a shout out to all you middle-aged women and above. Listen, you guys, you gals, it is a fucking bullshit myth that we lose our sex drive and vitality and our bodies are just fucked, okay? Now, I understand the fear, right? But I'm just gonna use myself as a personal example because I feel like that's the most genuine place we can come from and deep place. I have never felt more vital and alive and sexy in my own body as I do now. There's a rich experience in aging if we really choose to not listen to all that bullshit brainwash and access our greatest vitality. Now, you guys are used to me talking a lot about the emotional world and linked with the spiritual, mental. And what's also just as important, these bodies are our vehicle that we walk in this world with, that we are connected to with our partners with, or our friends with, right? Whatever that is. And I, in this last year, set out to just explore a whole new relationship with my body and the kind of exercise that I did. I used to be very identified as a runner. So a bit more of that thinner, just competitive runner thing. That was my comfort zone, right? Fast forward now, I found a gym, the YMCA, and just it started going into classes and just feeling it. I just knew I was supposed to do this, right? So it was my kind of quest to physically explore myself in this time and space and this age and all of that. And getting older, there was this organic knowing I needed to become more focused on my core. And I think that was linked also to my emotional growth. I think they're very connected, and often they're not introduced that way. So I started finding my favorite instructors, like my favorite spinning instructor. I call it my spinning church. I mean, she's so inspirational, badass. Holy shit. Today I thought I was gonna fucking die, but I kept going and I love feeling incredible. So, and then a combat and a strengthening class. And my point of all of this is that in that strengthening and in that hitting these, like, for me, strengthening and having muscles was like, that's just other people. I mean, I knew I had like it for running and whatnot, but like I had a different kind of identity structure in my head. So I had limits on myself for all these years. And then I start going to these classes and I still did. I was like, well, that's not me, but I'll just keep doing these. And these things that I'm like, oh, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna be able to do that. And now I'm finding myself a year later doing these things and hitting past thresholds, starting to actually hear the intelligence of the cells in my body and muscles and have these connections and understanding the core. So what is my point? When we set out to commit to anything, whether it's emotionally, physically, there is so much fruit when we're doing it in a pure, genuine way. And there's a growth. So for me, as I've been really challenging myself and hitting these different thresholds, and thanks to the instructors, because that's been part of it, I needed that push, right? Because I didn't know that world. It's been literally growing me even faster emotionally because they're both so similar. Let's just say you're someone who's been in the same toxic relationship. That's like you've been using the same muscle over and over and over again. It became almost comfortable to be uncomfortable in those relationships, right? So when you break that pattern, you have to go through very, very excruciating, often uncomfortable phase of setting boundaries that you're not used to, having these fantasies pulling you in and out because you were so used to that. It's like breaking an addiction, right? And when we go into the physical place and we are being challenged, it's also like you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna die if I do that. And then you realize you don't die. And then you start realizing, holy shit, I'm doing the very thing I didn't ever think I could imagine. So there's an ecstasy about it. There's a brilliance about it. And I just wanna shout out to all of you, those of you that are feeling depression, feeling anxious, feeling those things, it is a true natural high, okay? Now I know that this can go to the other end of addiction. I was addicted to running way years back, which woke me up in this whole life experience. So if you're someone listening and you have eating disorder stuff, then you do want to reach out to someone who's a confidant who you trust, or to a therapist. But I'm talking to those of you that are just seeking, number one, first, your vitality, and it's a sex drive. It's I don't have the words. You have to find them for yourself, right? I can speak for myself though. It's powerful. And if you're seeking a way to go to a higher place and just even feel happier in a way that breaks you open, builds your confidence, and then, the physical results will come, months later or whenever later, and those are just like icing on the cake, and it's all just a powerful experience. So just a shout out to taking care of these physical bodies, and the brilliance of when we commit to anything in a genuine way that nurtures that garden. The results can be so profound. So thank you for listening to this longer video. I wish you all an awesome evening or morning or whatever time it is. MadisonChristine.net, and I'll meet you all on the flip.